Hello, this is Slo. I'm going to be going over someone else's VOD. They're playing Marksman in a 1900-ish shuffle. They've given me this clip of them doing rounds in a heavy melee lobby that they were struggling in. Right off the bat, I'm just going to point out I can't see any Arena 1, 2, 3 binds. I'm assuming and hoping that you've at least got alt modifiers. For things like scatter, kick, because I can't see separate abilities for them there. Secondly, you're running explosive trap. I have no idea why you're running explosive trap. At first I saw this, I thought maybe this is a sub-rogue, but no, he's assassination. I thought that you might be thinking that they were going to do stuns on off target on the healer for you to set up traps, but no, I would run intimidation and shuffle every single time unless you're on a blade's edge and you're planning on memeing someone with knockbacks. But anyway, I'm going to press play on this. We'll go through. So we've got a druid, a resto druid on the other side. The way that resto druids work, they apply their heal over time effects, their hots, and then once those hots are up, they do a lot of healing, and if you craft and shuffle druid, they're still going to be doing a lot of healing. So the idea into a resto druid, you want to CC them instantly when they come out, so that they don't have time to build up hots. The way that you're stood, you're not pre-casting any damage. You're not looking for the druid, you're not trying to get close to the druid for when he comes out of stealth to CC him immediately. This would be why you would be playing intimidation as well, by the way, so that when you open you'd immediately intimidation the resto druid and then be able to trap off your intimidation. But here you're kind of letting them get the opener. I guess you're waiting for the sap, but you weren't precasting an aim shot or a sniper shot, so you're going to get a really weak opener and the druid's going to get full hots before you can do anything to him anyway. So that's an immediate issue. And you're kind of still in stealth. I have no idea why their resto druid popped NS there, but we're still not really doing anything. The druid comes out, he wastes NS, and then he hardcasts a clone on your healer out of the warrior fear. Fine. You get PI on yourself. Your pet's on passive, by the way. Warrior's gonna leap you, disarm you. You haven't popped true shot yet. Warrior's just on you. So you've scattered the DK there, I guess, to peel yourself, but you're kind of fine. I'm wondering actually if you were lining your healer a little bit there. Yeah. Healers. And then, yeah, I did actually look through this before. I did actually quickly watch through these clips, and like there's a running theme where you keep scatter trapping the DPS for not really much reason. So like that scatter trap doesn't really do anything. Your rogue is trying to set up a go, so he blinds the druid. If you had trap there, you would have been able to trap out of it. And then you're kind of just running. You're not really pressuring anything. The druid clones your healer, you had kick that whole time. Like, you saw with that high explosive trap that you used, it gave you so little value because the warrior has so many gap closes, right? Every time you knock him, he's just going to leap back or charge back. And then there you scattered the DK again, and you're going to try and trap the DK again. And it just kind of doesn't do anything. It's kind of a running theme in these games where you're not actually trying to kill. Like they're disengaging into the druid there. If you had trap, you could have trapped him really easily. You're missing DR trackers, by the way, so you can't tell when your rogue's going to kidney. Like every time you just get a trap DK like that, you're not actually doing anything and your team's just falling behind. And right now, you're not playing the game. Like your rogue is dying there and you're running 100 yards away. You tried to burst, he leap disarms you. And you haven't crowd controlled the druid yet. You haven't kicked him, scattered him, trapped him. The rogue actually stunned the druid there. That's an easy trap for you. And then another cyclone when you had kit. I'll just skip forward. I do like how you're funny in shadow. Like right here, you could be moving, casting the sniper shot on the DK because you're actually playing the sniper shot. And then if you were spec'd into intimidation, you'd be pressing your at arena 1 intimidation to stun the druid as soon as he comes out, and then trap out of the intimidation. That's like the normal play. That's how you play hunter. You actually catch the rogue, cool. You scattered him, and then there was actually, yeah, nothing came of it. Your priest actually goes for a chastised sphere and gets trinket. Like, if you disengaged into the druid here, or if you had intimidation as well, when the druid presses trinket there, you could intimidation trap him and just win the game, because the druid has no hots, he's got no trinket. Looks like the rogue pressed evasion, but the DK could definitely die. It's a little bit hard to tell from your UI, but I think you might be hitting the rogue while evasion is up. Yeah, evasion's up right now. I know you're disarmed, but... And then again, you're kind of just walking away from the fight. That was again, the druid hardcasted a cyclone on your healer while you had kick ready. So you could have stopped that. Do you just die here? Like, and if you look at the damage, like you're just not trying to kill anything. The way that you're playing, you're kind of just trying not to die, and not actually doing anything to try and kill anyone. And every time they get to you, when you keep running around, their kidney is back or their disarm is back, and they can just interrupt you again. And you're not doing anything to their druid. Your warrior completely soloed this game. You know, people say that damage done on details doesn't matter, but damage done kind of clearly explains what happened in this game, which is you didn't engage in this fight at all for the duration. By the way, you probably want to fiddle with your nameplates a bit, because you don't need to have nameplates for all the DK pets. That is something that you can turn off, and it reduces a lot of spam on your screen. Also, like, it's a big deal that your UI doesn't have diminishing returns tracking. Like, you need to know when things are coming off stun diminishing returns and when things are coming off trap diminishing returns. And the same actually for your party frames. I use Gladius X for it personally because I like having them the same, but you can also use regular Gladius and diminish. And Omni CD. I'm not sure I've seen you cast a name shot yet, and I'm not sure I've seen you use counter shot yet. I can't actually tell why he isn't dispelling that trap, but that trap would be completely useless if he just pressed dispel, he wasn't in CC. Some people use this, I don't know, maybe it works for them, but the way that you're tracking your cooldowns here is super confusing. Like, it puts loads of spam on your screen, and like, if you actually want to know if Nature's Swiftness is off cooldown or if Evasion is off cooldown, whatever, I think this is a way more difficult way to find that information than by just using Omnibar or having Omni CD tracking on nameplates, on unit frames. Okay, so this one, we're precasting a sniper shot. The warrior opens by fearing your healer. And then he just walks out of your line. Like, in this whole game, you're like fundamentally not trying to kill anything. You're not trying to kill the warrior, you're not trying to kill the rogue. You're not crowd controlling the druids so that your DK can try and kill anything. And you're not stopping any casts. There, the druid goes for a bash clone. It's the second time this game. We've got kick, but we're not using it. Luckily, druid gets it. DK gets it that time. Like, if we had trapped there, you could have trapped the druid out of the fear, or you could have trapped his trinket and won the game right there. But the trap. Yeah. not sure I've seen you use aim shot this lobby, and I'm also not sure I've seen you use true shot. There's true shot. You're actually playing short true shot, so you definitely want to be pressing true shot, getting loads of aim shots out on cooldown, scatter into a trap and misses, unfortunately. So much of this round has happened without you doing anything. If you want to kite here, you can root the DK with the steel trap. But I imagine you're going to scatter trap instead. Yeah, scatter trap. You need the trap for the healer. You need the scatter to either peel off targets or to save yourself. But with nothing on the DK there, you could have steel trapped him, you could have slowed him, those would have been much better, and then you'd still have your win conditions, because your win condition, right, is to get traps on the healer and do damage into the trap. And if you're playing short true shot, you should really be pressing true shot on cooldown, otherwise it literally gives you nothing. And you can notice that you're on 100 focus basically this entire game, so you're not even getting anything from the focus when you press true shot either. By the way, when you're disarmed, and I'm not sure if you're doing it, but there are a couple of buttons that you can press. Like you can use concussive shot, you can use purge, trank, you can actually death chakram volley while disarmed, and that's a really big thing. If you know that you're gonna get disarmed, not to use death chakram or volley, force the disarm, and then as the disarm is fading, then you death chakram volley into rapid fire, so that while you're disarmed you're not actually losing anything, because you'd be using the burst buttons you'd be pressing if you weren't disarmed. And you can see from the damage done again, you know, the way that you're playing, you're not doing damage to force kills, you're not crowd controlling the healer to help your partner get kills, you're running away from the fight constantly and just relying on the second guy. True shot's been off cooldown for a long time now. Yeah. So you're going to notice a massive increase in your rating really quickly if you make focus macros for your scatter shot, for your intimidation, and then every time intimidation is off cooldown, just press intimidation on the healer, trap out of the intimidation, and if intimidation is on cooldown, scatter the healer, trap out of the scatter, and just do that, and then stop ever using scatter or trap on the DPS. That's going to really increase your rating. Getting either Arena 1, 2, 3 if you've got the keybinds for it, or just a focus counter shot macro, that would help a lot, because I don't think we've pressed counter shot this whole game. Fundamentally, you know, the reason that you didn't do damage and didn't score kills is not because this is an all melee lobby and you were pressured the whole time. You just weren't doing damage. You can call them zugs, but you need to zug like at least a little bit. Yeah. But anyway, I'll see if I can get a clip of one of my games so I can show you what I mean. Okay, so part 2. This is, I found a game where I was playing into 2 melees. So, opener starts, my warrior runs in, he starts doing stuff, and the first thing I'm doing is running straight onto their priest. I want to get this first trap. It looks like I'm trying to do it without intimidation, so that I can save intimidation for the next go. So, immediately get a trap. First thing I do, aim shot into true shot. Trying to get as much damage out as fast as possible. There. Actually haven't used Death Chakram there, and that's deliberate because I know that I'm going to get grappled. They do their go on me. I had my pet positioned away so that I can do the Roar of Sack on the leg sweep. I get a bop, that's nice. So I know that I can burst because I'm bopped, he can't disarm me. So there's the Death Chakram volley rapid fire. I've got 5 seconds left on the trap cooldown. So first thing I'm going to do, silencing the priest, so that he can't use death, can't use fade. Run around a little bit, and then intimidation into the trap. Getting the pressure. I'm using scatter there on the Windwalker because we're trying to kill the DK right now. A lot of damage on DK, and he just dies. Because the priest had to use Will of the Forsaken earlier, so he couldn't get out of that last trap. Skip forward. Sorry about the glitching. Again, trap from stealth so that I can save intimidation for the next trap. There, true shot as soon as possible. I want to get my damage out. I haven't used Death Chakram, I haven't used Volley deliberately because I know I'm going to get disarmed. They've got 2 disarms, so it's still going to be a little bit awkward, but let's see what happens. There, they're all stacked up. I'm playing the cleave spec, so I'm just going to send it now. Get Karma, swap Warrior immediately. Warrior pops Die by the Sword immediately. So we've now got the Major Monk defensives cooldowns. We've got the Warrior's Trinket, the Priest Trinket, we've got Die by the Sword. He doesn't have Karma either, so we're in a super good spot. Trap is just coming off diminishing return now. There's diminishing return tracker. We've still got a little bit left on the stun, so there's going to be another 4 seconds before I can intimidation trap. It looks like I scattered the Windwalker's appeal there. My DK actually gets a strang. I was actually pushing towards the priest anyway here because I was going to intimidation trap, but the Death Knight asphyxes the healer, so I can just trap out of that. And I imagine we're just going to win the game here, but let's see. Trinket this, he gets a fear. That's kind of a nice play by Warrior. Is it enough? Yes, just about. Actually, intimidation on the Warrior there, kind of to peel, keep myself alive. Got to figure out the way to get the next trap. There, my Pally goes in for a stun, so I'm going to be able to trap out of that. You can tell as soon as my trap comes off cooldown, I'm pushing towards their priest because I know they'll want to trap him. I'm just waiting for an opportunity. There it is. Bop on me. It's kind of overkill, but I think it stopped the Windwalker being able to grapple me, where he just seems to live for a bit. Grip Blinding Sleep. He just dies in the blind. So this was a bit of a this lobby was a bit doomed from the start. It was a Disc Priest versus the Holy Pally, so obviously the Holy Pally is going to go 6-0. But that is a lobby with 3 million into it, and like you can see the complete difference in playstyle. Pushing the healer every time the trap's off cooldown, getting a trap immediately every time you can on the healer, and doing as much damage as possible. Let's see if I can get one more. I think I might have clipped it around the other day. Okay, yeah, so this is another one that I recorded, and I'm just gonna show you this one to point out like why and when you want to stay far and kite things when you're playing a ranged DPS. This is not against double melee, but just to give you an idea. He has blistering scales on himself at the beginning, that means that we're not going to do much damage into him. I'm trapping from stealth. And do you see, so that blistering scales thing is like a massive armor buff. If someone has blistering scales and it doesn't get purged, they're not really going to take damage, and that's why when I get this trap, I'm actually swapping on the rogue instead of going into the evoker, and the evoker actually falls here as well. That's even better.
Trinketed. Holy Serenity. Power infusion.
And then now I'm going far. I don't really want the rogue to step kidney me, so I'm going far. I'm going up here, and I'm using that distance and that position to do damage. Because now I can just free cast. I can get as many aim shots off as I want. I can just pump. So right now I'm on 150 KDPS. They're all just dying. Cheat death. The rogue tries to get away. Swap. And he just dies, and I'm on 150 KDPS. Like that. That's when you want to. If you're going to move far, like, you still want to be doing something. Step range is shorter than my range, so he can't step kidney me, he can't step disarm me. And then when he does run out of range or run out of loss, you just swap to whatever you can hit and keep the pressure up, and then win. So I hope that's helpful. Yeah, enjoy.